Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and boy, have they done the unexpected here today or tonight or whenever you're watching this video. So we have official confirmation now of what the compensation for the Roses Are Red event bungle is going to be for the event store and what you're going to be able to do and how many of these heart candies that you're going to be getting. Now, one thing that I want to say, which I think is absolutely hilarious, is I think that a lot of the compensation that we're going to be getting is going to be largely based or benched from my video from the other day where I went around in a buying spree, because I calculated exactly how much money or how much currency that I end up spending compared to the what we're going to be getting, and it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I think maybe they used my video as, some sort of idea for the community in terms of what we should be getting. But hey, that's okay. It's just, unfortunately, I won't be getting too much out of this. But hey, for everyone else who missed out, you'll be getting a lot of stuff. And we'll be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about what you should do with this extra currency, given how many that we'll be doing. So we'll be breaking down every single resource in the store and what I think is a priority with this in mind. So this is not, I guess this is not going to be necessarily with the current stuff that we have in mind, like the stuff that you have right now. It's once you get the payout, we'll talk about that. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. So what was the response? Let's go over the blog post really quickly. So as outlined in the previous blog post, there was an issue with the event. We know that, right? And then the stuff was purged, blah, 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 blah. We listened to the feedback on the position of those who were not able to spend candy, want to address it as best we can. This is complex due to the vast differences in the quantity of candy the player base had. Some had zero. Honestly, I don't think this really matters necessarily exactly in terms of the what and we ended up getting down here, but it is what it is. Team reviewed the data, saw the amount each player spent. No. They saw how much Boilon spent in the store. Let's be clear, because I didn't see any other video on YouTube of people spending their currency in high amounts like I did. Maybe I missed the videos. But I think it was very good data for the devs probably to see exactly how much I was able to spend and therefore how much other people may have. I'm sure they have the data in their backend, but that means that they would have also had to spend at least some time, right, looking at some of this, whether it was my video, whether it was the actual data in their servers or whatever, wherever they get them. Kudos to them for actually checking this out, though. So good news there. And then there's the solution. So players who spent 0 hard candies, aka didn't do anything, you weren't on within the first 15 minutes or whatever, you're going to get 300,000 hard candy. Great. So now you have 300k currency that you can spend on whatever you want. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the video in terms of what I think is a priority, given that in mind. Players who spent less than 300k will receive some amount of hard candies up to, but not exceeding 300k. So if you spent 100k, maybe you did a couple of refreshes, you bought the store a bunch of times, but you spent 100k. You're going to get 200k to spend extra. So that's one thing, which is good. And players who spent 300k hard candy or more are excluded from the compensation. Wah, wah, wah. That's Boilon. So that's me. I am being excluded from the compensation because what I ended up spending on was more than 300k. And I will say that there is some unfortunate... I was going to make up a word, but I'm going to say this is an unfortunate situation for me, because if you watch my video, then you'll know that I spent on stuff that I didn't really need. And so this raised my tally up higher than it would have if I knew this was going to happen. And so obviously I did, I think this is one of the first times that they've done compensation in this way. So I didn't really expect that to happen. I kind of just expected them to kind of give out some currency, but I didn't think it was going to be like this. So, it is what it is. There's not much I can do about that. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk at this point. But it's good for everyone else who maybe were selective when they were buying out of the store. There were some people I talked to in my Discord who said, they were just buying the teal stuff that they need, unlike stupid me, who was like, okay, let's buy purple ability material and orange gear that I had no need for, and that stacked up, that kind of racked up my tally a little bit above 300k. These candies will not award progress in the Roses Are Red milestone event. So part of me is like, are they going to do this right? Like, I just have this strange feeling that something else is going to go wrong, and that it's going to come before Monday, and they're going to add to the milestone. and who knows, right? The great for the community if that ends up happening. We'll see. Fingers crossed. The other thing is, I think that we're expecting to get this compensation by end of day tomorrow, but I'll admit I do not have official confirmation on this. I am not an envoy, so maybe somebody closer to the program would know better than me. I'm just thinking about in terms of they normally go away on the weekend, so it's probably going to come Friday, unless they intend it to be, Monday or after the milestone actually ends and keep the store open. There's also going to be an additional compensation general pack for Cosmic Crucible. You can see that here. Half a diamond orb, Elite 7 credits, Elite 6 credits, training mods, Crucible credits, Elite Crucible credits to make up for if anyone fucked up their Crucible because the servers came down, basically. Thank you for your patience as the team worked on a solution. Enjoy spending on the heart candy in the extended event store, which will close on February the 23rd. Now, I want to be very clear because I'm opening up my calendar right now. The 23rd is going to be next Friday. Okay, and as of recording this video, I am recording this very late night on Thursday night. So 8 days and 13 hours. I'm just making. I think that should be about it. I think that lines up, right? And so I don't know if that's exactly what they said that the original extension in the previous blog. I have no idea. But if this comes out tomorrow, you'll have basically a week to spend it. And the good thing is that most people won't have to core it like I did, right? Like I spent about 800, 900 cores, something like that, to do all the core refreshes that I did. And now you won't have to do that because you'll have 7 days and you can just kind of let it. I mean, if you're looking for certain things, I guess you could do that, but otherwise you could probably let it tick down. You get 3 refreshes per day times at least a week. That's 21 store refreshes, which is way more than I got, right? So you'll be able to be a little bit more selective in your purchasing. However, I would be careful, right? Because if you're getting 300K, 21 is roughly, I would say, about like 12, 13K, I guess, per refresh at a bare minimum. So just make sure that you're kind of spending enough that you don't like get to the end and you're kind of race to have to spend it. That's my only problem there. Now, what I want to do in this second half of the video is I want to go over, I created a little bit of a value spreadsheet, in my opinion. These are all the main things that are in the store and what I think is worth buying and what I think is not. Now, what's not included in here is orange gear. So we're basically looking at Chards, teal gear, G16 plus minis, and T4s and orange mods and things like that. So I'm just going to go down the list right here. So as far as shards go, one thing that I missed out on was, I think there's Venom and Carnage shards in there, but I wouldn't buy it. So there's Extreme X-Men shards, there's Pegasus shards, and there's Superior 6 shards in no particular order here. I have the cost value at per 1. Even though you don't buy them in 1, you often buy them in 5 or 15 for the shards. Just wanted to let you know, just in terms of like a per item cost, so you'd have some sort of idea benched across everything else. So Extreme X-Men is 750 per 1 shard. I would buy this for Forge and Sunspot. I would not buy for the other ones. I'm not sure if I don't think Gambit and Cyclops are the same price actually, but I wouldn't buy it anyways unless you really need to. As far as the Pegasus shards go, they're 300 per 1. I would buy Ironheart. I would not buy the other Darkhawk and Iron Man Infinity War because they're a bit easier to find now. But Ironheart's in the War Store. And I don't know about you, but I find that the War Store is some of the hardest to farm for because we don't get as many war credits. So I would actually buy this, and it's a price point of 300 per shard because they're farmable, but I still think it's good value for Ironheart. So I would do it there. And of course, if you need to unlock any of these characters, it's probably worth it. If you're a new player, for example, and you need to unlock these characters, I definitely do that. But as far as like going towards a rank up or anything like that, I would prioritize Ironheart here. As far as Superior 6 character shards, the new ones, 500 per 1. And they're not as expensive as Extreme X-Men because they're likely to be farmable within, I would say, the next couple of weeks. I would buy them though if you're going to get a rank up, especially. So Kraven, absolutely. Is Spider Slayer in there? I'm not sure if I ever saw him, but when I went through my video, I actually only managed to get Kraven shards anyway. So I don't know if all the characters are in there. I'm assuming they are, but I would prioritize obviously the newer characters, Kraven, Lizard, and Spider Slayer. If he's in there, if they're all in there, I would just do that. As far as the teal uniques, yes. Because I said that originally in my original video, which was like for the normal amount of currency that I have, right, that you're going to be using, absolutely do that. But now that we have, or you're going to be having up to 300K, yeah, do 100%. Always buy the teal uniques. Even if you don't think you need them, honestly, I would buy them anyways. Because there's always going to be a character out there that you're going to need to use it on. And I don't see the teal unique bottleneck going away for some time. You know, like it took a while for the orange bottleneck to go away, well into like year tier 16, 17 before like orange stuff kind of cleared up. So don't expect that to go away anytime soon. You get it 400 for one. They show up in 5 or 8 packs though. So 2000 for 5, 3200 for 8. That's what I've seen there. Teal basic catalyst, or you know, the teal advanced BC teal BCs is what I call them, that you basically need for everything. It's 20 per one. You need a lot of them though. I personally wouldn't buy this myself. I've never been into a crunch where this is the issue. However, I have run into the issue where teal catalysts, specifically health and focus catalysts, are an issue. So I would buy some of this if you need it, specifically those two. Those are cost about 30 per one. You do need a little bit less than them, I guess, per gear piece than you do for the teal BCs. That's why it's at a different price point there. Teal origin gear is 25 per one. I would only do this if you're like really low on like bio, or like some team that you bought a lot of right now and you're kind of crunching on them. But normally that's where I would farm in the showcase event, which is what I mentioned previously in some of my other videos. Now we have G18, 17, and 16 minis. These are the teal minis. 350 for one for 18, 100 for one for 17, and 50 for one for 16. I realized I didn't put any there, so no, don't do. Oh no, just no, don't do 16s. 17s, it's actually not bad. If you need it, only if you need it. You know, if you're short, if you're like under 300 or so, I would probably buy these. For G18 minis, absolutely. You know, you're gonna have a lot of currency. Definitely buy them, because this is gonna help you push Dark Dimension 6 further. In my video, I picked up a total of, I think it was 115 G18 minis. So I managed to get quite a few of these, and it's great value, especially since you're getting a lot of free resources. So this with teal uniques and some of the character shards, I think, are some of the best value. But there are some things as well. Silver and gold promos, we get so many already. I wouldn't really waste your currency on buying these. It costs 34 per one for silver, 42 per one for gold, and 50 per one for dark promos, which I would buy. Dark promos are very important. So yes, DPCs, absolutely buy those whenever you see them. When I think it was a little bit rare. I think silver and gold promos were much more common in the boxes that I saw personally, but you know, I think dark promos were a little bit more rare in there, and dark diamonds were also kind of rare. I would say maybe the costs are very high. You're spending 5,000 tokens per 25. You could get a lot. Like if we did, hypothetically, if we did 30,000, if it's probably not going to happen, but let's say you just only 300,000 and you only bought dark diamonds, you could get 60 purchases of that. 60 times 25, how many could you get? You could get 1,500 dark diamonds for 300k, basically, if you were to only buy that. But the thing is that you're going to get so many out of the Cosmic Crucible seasons. It's just like, I don't think this is where you probably should be focusing it on, unless you're like a Kraken, I guess, like a whale Kraken, because otherwise you're not going to be able to need it, because you need the dark promos first to use the dark diamonds. You need characters at 7 red before you can spend the dark diamonds, and that's the one thing actually being a bit of a problem for some people. So I would say maybe if you need to spend your credits, it costs a lot. So if you want to blow it, then go for it. But you get so many from the Cosmic Crucible payouts. Orange training mods cost 100 for one. Now I think this is pretty expensive for a single orange training mod, but so many people are crunched right now for training materials that I think it's probably worth buying. I think you see them in packs of 25 and 50, so you'll be spending 2,500 or 5,000 points per purchase of these. Again, not amazing value, but I think that just everyone needs training mods. And finally, T4 ability materials is 400 for one. You typically see this for 4,000 for 10. It's okay, but it's pretty pricey. So unless you really need to spend the currency, it's also pretty rare. You don't normally see it. It's usually the purple ability materials that show up in the very bottom. I just want to be clear about that what you're looking for the training mods. And some people missed out on it normally. So I'm not going to buy this myself for the regular currency that I have, because I'm not getting any compensation for this. And I probably won't be buying training mods either. I'm specifically going to be holding out myself for specific uniques, now that I know that I'm not going to be getting any compensation. But as you guys saw in my video, I already managed to get quite a bit. So it is what it is there. What was the total currency spent by Boilon? 357,000, give or take. I think I might have missed 1 or 2 items. But other than that, that's pretty much what I got. If you were to subtract all the orange color purchases that I made, it was about 300k, honestly. So I think that what we're getting is benched from my video. I mean, they're not going to say that, but it pretty much was if you calculate it yourself. So again, TLDR, dark promos, really important. Orange training mods, probably G18 minis, teal uniques, and some of these specific like X-Men, Superior 6, and Ironheart shards. I think those are probably the best of value for your usage whenever we get them. I just wanted to put this out there for you all. This is coming out a little bit early, obviously, because I still have my blog post video later on today. So hopefully between these two videos, you guys will have a great Friday and have something to talk about. So that's going to be it, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see y'all later on the blog, I guess, at this point. Boilon, signing out.